not be allowed to stand. So our position is simple. We will not compromise. We will not accept dialogue. We are going in with a simple position that we are going to vote against it. We will introduce a number of amendments by ensuring that this tax does not see the light of the day. So that is what I can say for now, but I can assure you that we will fight for the ordinary Ghanaian because we do not believe that this tax should be made to survive.
The minister did indicate to all of you that he was going to engage us further. He told you when he held a press conference. At the meeting, we asked the minister whether he was ready to reduce this obnoxious tax, at least even cushion Ghanaians. That is to say, even if you won't listen to the NDC, at least would you listen to the people of Ghana, the mobile operators, mobile money operators, and all those in the industry and reduce it? The minister said that he wanted a certain revenue, and so he would not reduce it. But let me assure the people of Ghana, like the ranking said, the NDC remains resilient, committed, and determined to fight for the ordinary Ghanaian. This is just the beginning. We are poised for the floor and would encourage you to follow what happens at plenary and on the floor.
The Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training has presented the winners of the World Skills Competition to the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, at the Jubilee House in Accra. Dr. Bawumia threw a challenge to the 15 winners to strive to win the Africa Skills Competition and the World Skills Competition slated for 2022.
These are the 15 winners of the 14 skills areas for this year's competition. They include welding, bricklaying, carpentry, auto body repair, mechatronics, electrical installation, automobile technology and mechanical engineering CAD, IT software solutions for business, graphic design technology and beauty therapy. The Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training were at the Jubilee House to present the winners of the competition to the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. This is the team to represent Ghana at the Africa Skills Competition in March 2022 in Namibia. The Director General of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training is Dr. Fred Asamoah.
Since skills is a universal language, it interests you to know that some of the competitors from technical institutes were able to compete with their compatriots in the technical universities and beat them. That means that if we have our country continue to focus as His Excellency the President and yourself are focusing on technical and vocational education, then of course Ghana can compete with everybody and anyone in the world.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia threw a challenge to Ghana's contingent to strive to win the Africa Trophy.
The future of work is of skills, and so for our youthful population in Africa and in Ghana, we have to understand that the future is in acquiring a skill and making sure that we have a core that, you know, is focused on skills acquisition in this regard.
Commission for Technical and Vocational Education Training presented a plaque of appreciation to Dr. Bawumia for his unwavering contribution to TVET education in Ghana.
The minority group in Parliament says it will go all out to ensure that the electronic levy bill is not passed into law. They are determined to introduce a number of amendments to quash that levy. Our parliamentary correspondent, Kulsum Abdullah, is in Parliament and is standing by to update us on happenings on the floor of Parliament. Good evening. Ms. Abdullah, good evening. Can you hear me? Kumu, if you can hear me, what is happening on the floor of the House at the moment? And my colleague Abdullah is standing by to update us on the minority's position on ensuring that the electronic levy bill is not passed into law and other matters. Good evening, Humu. Hello, Humu Abdullah. Can you hear me? From Parliament earlier, there was a press conference where the group says they are determined to introduce a number of amendments to quash the levy. This came up after the group lost its arguments at the committee level in Parliament under the certificate of urgency and removal of Clause 1 of the bill, which imposes the tax of 1.75% on all electronic transactions above the threshold of 100 Ghana cedis. What can you tell us at the moment? What is happening on the floor of Parliament at the moment?
Levy. Earlier on, members of the Finance Committee was at a meeting which dragged on for hours. Apparently, the majority side wanted to raise the e-levy under the certificate of urgency, but the minority group disagreed. They thought that the e-levy was an important instrument which members needed to hear from the side of persons in society, especially those in the telecommunication business. But unfortunately, when it came to voting from both sides of the committee, the majority side won that particular vote. So right now, members of the report, the committee is expected to present a report to the plenary. When Parliament resumes sitting, the Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta himself, will be in the chamber. He was here earlier on. He'll be expected to mention the motion, raise it up for debate. It needs to go through a second reading and a third reading. But because of the certificate of urgency under which it has been raised, what's going to happen is that everything is supposed to happen within today or tonight, if I can call it that. Members will have to debate on the motion and then they will put it to vote. The majority members insist that this particular levy is important for them to raise the needed funds for its infrastructure development, and they believe that if Ghanaians want us to move away from taking so much loan, that it is time Ghanaians are ready to help raise the funds needed for its own development. But the minority side thinks that this is not necessary. They believe that government has several avenues of raising funds for its business, and they don't need to tax mobile, what they call the very little that Ghanaians are managing for their survival. They don't need to tax it to be able to raise the needed funds. So right now, as I'm speaking to you, the chamber is on break. When they resume, it will go fully on deliberation on the e-levy, as to whether the e-levy will be passed, as to whether it will be denied. It will only happen when members resume. But the minority are saying that they are going to use all avenues, all amendment needed, even if it has to be votes, individual votes, secret ballots. They will raise those issues. They will insist on the right processes, and they will take all other means to ensure that this particular e-levy is quashed by the House. It is not seen, it will not see the light of day. So right now we are here. We are waiting for members of Parliament. When they resume, we'll see how it will go. If the Speaker, Mr. Bagbe himself, is in the chair, then we'll go back to 137, 137. That is if both sides of the House have their full membership. But if any of them is absent, then unfortunately the vote will have to go against that particular side of the House.
And that was my colleague Humu Abdullah updating us on happenings on the floor of the House on the electronic levy bill. Earlier, the minority group in Parliament says they will go all out to ensure that the electronic levy bill is not passed but lost at the committee level during a vote. Now, Ghana has placed travel restrictions on 3 countries except for humanitarian cases or during official travels beginning today, Monday, December 20, 2021. The countries are South Korea, Israel and Malta. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the restrictions are to last for a period of 14 days for South Korea and Israel. There was no specific ban timelines for Malta aside from the indefinite travel ban. The statement further said the government of Ghana does not recognize any vaccine certificate from Malta. The move is part of efforts to control the spread of coronavirus amidst the rise in infections from the fast-spreading Omicron virus. The Foreign Affairs Ministry is therefore calling on Ghanaians to take note of the directive and adhere to it accordingly.
You're watching Izawa live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. The Harmattan season has already set in parts of the country. Harmattan occurs between the end of November and the middle of March. It's usually characterized by dry and dusty northeasterly trade winds which blow from the Sahara over West Africa to the Gulf of Guinea. The temperature is cold in most places but can also be hot in certain places depending on local circumstances. The period is also characterized by poor visibility on the roads during the day and even at night. Chief forecaster at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Mrs. Felicity Hafianyo, joined us earlier to explain.
Harmattan is something that happens, as you first said earlier on. It's a yearly event that normally starts at the end of the year towards the beginning of the new year. And 2021 is not exception, except that those of us in the post and the middle sector, we are getting ours a bit late. Normally it starts from the second week of November into December. But this year, the winds were just over the upper regions, that's over the northern sector, and it was not too dusty. But then we have the incursion, the first outburst of the dust from the Sahara Desert descending all the way down. And it's more of an easterly part moving from the northeast and then spreading over the other part of the country. Yesterday it was over whole part of Jessica and their environs, and then today it has gotten to Greater Accra and then pushing towards the western flank.
Normally we have the Harmattan between now and those parts of February for the southern sector, and then for the northern sector it extends towards April and at times early part of May. But this type of weather mostly it affects the asthmatic patients a lot because they have to do more with the breathing, and the ones the air is not pure who have some attacks. So it is advisable for them to speak to their medical advisors for what to do, and they have been in the season before, so definitely they know what to do when they are when they are older. And the kids that the parents have identified them or the doctor has advised that this might be a cause, they need to speak to their medical advisor so that they can guide them through. And then also such people, we know the outdoor is full of gases, to be very, very advisable for them not to be outside that much. For our food vendors, we know the particles are full of pathogens, so it will also be advisable for them to cover their food before selling out to the public.
The Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, has acquired exclusive free-to-air TV and radio broadcast rights of the Total Energies 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Kickoff is on the 9th of January and runs till the 6th of February 2022 for Ghana in English and all Ghanaian languages. GBC is the official and exclusive owner of the free-to-air television rights in Ghana. Also, GBC may allow other broadcasters to carry the signal after the necessary considerations have been met. Any institution or individual interested in sponsoring or advertising on the live and delayed matches must contact the GBC Sales and Marketing Division. And finally, GBC hereby serves notice that the corporation shall studiously enforce all rights against all persons who infringe on their rights pertaining to the Total Energies 2021 Africa Cup of Nations in Ghana.
Earlier, our Upper East Regional correspondent Samuel Ayama briefed us on the Participatory Action for Rural Development Alternatives multi-stakeholder inception meeting on its anti-corruption and procurement practices in education and the health sector in Bolgatanga.
Just finished the meeting where a lot of discussions have taken place here concerning the project which has to do with anti-corruption and procurement practices in the health and then the education sector. With me here is the director of PADA, Dr. Michael Wumbego. Welcome, Doctor, for on GBC News. Tell us this project, what this project seeks to achieve.
This project is about how we'll be able to unite constituencies to be able to come together for us to pull out our opinions and energies so that we'll be able to close the gaps of corruption practices and then be able to grant our people quality services. In the education sector and in the health sector, these are the two main sectors which we have chosen as a pilot government agencies to be able to carry out this project. Apart from this new project which we are undertaking in the area of anti-corruption and procurement services within the two major government agencies, that the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Education, we have also engaged the Ghana Health Service in so many ways. In particular, we have worked in the Busa district and then that of the Kasina municipality. We have been able to provide ECDs, that is Early Childhood Development Centers, in about 6 communities. We have built these centers in 6 communities. We have dug up a total of 6 boreholes in these communities. And we have, that is just the present one in terms of education. We have supplied other furniture and teaching and learning materials to these schools. These apart, we have also built maternity units for 2 communities in 1 district, in Talense district, for example, in Gorogo and Namolgo, for example. We have also granted them delivery beds and rural ambulance services we have delivered. We have also supplied them with other medical supplies, including sterile gloves, including the medicines, and we have also engaged in COVID prevention practices. We have given them a lot of hand sanitizers, a lot of infrared thermometers, and we have also given them the hand washing machines, the electronic ones, so that they will be able to enhance their COVID prevention processes. These apart, we have also educated the people on their rights, educated the people on how to be able to advocate for their needs and lobby the duty bearers so that they can be able to deliver what is expected of them to meet the needs of the general people that are within their various constituencies.
GBC URA Radio in Bolgatanga has organized its maiden regional festival of night lessons and carols to usher in the Christmas. Organized in collaboration with the Upper East Regional Coordinating Council and with support from the Center for National Culture, the program was attended by a cross-section of the clergy and heads of departments.
Speaker after speaker encouraged residents in the region to let the significance of Christmas, which is the message of peace demonstrated by Christ, reflect in their lives. The call for commitment towards nation building. Some selected heads of department and the clergy took turns to read the lessons. The regional minister, Mr. Stephen Yakubu, advised the people to work together to protect the peace they are currently enjoying. He also cautioned drivers to be extra careful, especially during the Christmas festivities.
So many people like our neighboring countries such as Burkina Faso, Nigeria, etc. do not have this greater gift of peace. And I wish us to continue to pray for peace.
In a homily, the head pastor of the Redemption Assemblies of God Church, Reverend Dr. Lazarus Kabori, said the birth of Christ was a blessing for all. He expressed worry over the killing of the 2 police constables in Zwarungu in the Bolga East District.
It's a good occasion for us to have a very good, sober reflection of what is happening in us.
The Upper East Regional Police Command assured the people of adequate security during the festivities.
You're watching News Hour live on GBC News and News and Governance channel. The 40-day and 1-week observation of the Trafohene of Nkusumku traditional area and Achimfo Bakado Hene, the late Nana John Ankwada, has taken place at Salt Pond in the central region.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy. And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast. So what's your pleasure? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered. From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. With a trusted team. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
Time to take a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Please do stay.
Good evening. We do business brought to you by MTN. My name is Morris Ogbeti. Now, the Bank of Ghana says cash transactions still dominate the retail payment space despite the availability of various digital financial products and services in the country. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, attributed the situation to the complex nature of some financial products and services, which he said leaves many people behind.
Scratched the surface of financial services digitization because most people still do not have access to such services. Cash transactions still dominate the retail payment space, despite the availability of various digital financial products and services. The increasing use of smartphones is leading to complex digital financial products and services, with the likelihood of explosion for ordinary people. And the challenge is how to carry along every eligible person and business into the fold of financial digitization without stagnating innovation. The industry is rapidly expanding, and banks will have to innovate to keep abreast and remain relevant in the digital space.
We talk climate financing now. The Green Climate Fund has approved over $400,000 for Ghanaian-based Harmattan Foundation. The amount is in support of the charity organization's readiness proposal for capacity building and knowledge management on climate change for civil society organizations in Ghana. This is to assist in implementing the nationally determined contributions when it comes to climate change. The approval marks the first readiness targeting support to CSOs in Ghana and makes Harmattan Foundation the first NGO in Africa to have a readiness proposal approved by the fund. The Green Fund is the world's largest climate fund, mandated to support developing countries raise and realize their nationally determined contributions. We've been speaking to the founder of Harmattan Foundation, Mr. Samuel Doche.
Yeah, thank you very much.
$400,000.
Yeah, this money is going to be used for, just as you look at the title, right, it's going to be used for, one, we are going to assess the capacity of selected NGO or CSO networks. Then secondly, we are going to use that to do an assessment of the gaps that we have identified, we are going to identify in their governance structure, the institutional strengthening. We are also going to use this money to develop a 5-year climate agenda and the CSO action plan, right, which will propel us into a coordinated activity that will lead to the development of a concept note which will be submitted to the GCF again.
So you are looking at capacity building. How does the fund ensure that the money they've given to you is used for the purposes?
Thank you very much. I think the reason for which we became the first NGO in Africa, right, to be given this opportunity is the fact that we put in an innovative project proposal. Right. Why do I say innovative? Because one, we over the years, when you talk about capacity building, it's the normal 1 day, 2 day, you just gather people and tell themselves. But for now, we are going to take them through 3 levels: right, the basic level, the intermediate level, and then the professional level. Okay. What do we mean by all this level? The basic level would give an overview of the multilateral process. Okay. Then when we get to the intermediate level, we are now going to assess their capacity as to how they can develop fundable, viable project proposal. Then at the advanced level, they are going to be taken through steps and the skills necessary for developing a project proposal.
We go to the interbank forex market and get updates on how the cedis perform. We also update you on latest prices of major commodities on the international market.
local market, Shell, Vivo, Goil, Total, EV, Engine and Petrosol have the highest price fuel on the market. The review of prices of fuel at the pumps is attributed to the decrease in price of Brent crude on the international market despite the marginal depreciation of the cedi to the dollar. A number of leading OMCs are expected to follow suit by cutting prices at the pumps from today. This could force the over 100 OMCs to also reduce their fuel prices. If the trend continues, it is also expected to reduce the cost of living as fuel prices impact on both food and non-food items.
Now, a Deputy Finance Minister, Mrs. Abnose Asari, says some 31 companies operating in Ghana's oil and gas upstream space are yet to pay their corporate taxes. This comes from the 2020 Auditor General's report, which captured the said companies at various exploration or development stages in their operation.
As a result of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act of 2011 Act 815, the Petroleum Holding Fund was established to receive all petroleum revenues for disbursement. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee hearing on the management of Petroleum Fund for the year ending December 31, a Deputy Minister for Finance, Mrs. Abnose Asari, explained that the 31 upstream companies are yet to produce sales from crude oil and have since not generated income which will enable them to pay their corporate taxes.
This is in line with Section 63 and 65 of the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896. So Ghana Revenue Authority therefore conducts cost audits on some of these companies, take note of the cost build-up as indicated in Section 65 of the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896. So Ghana Revenue made available complete comprehensive tax audit reports for all the companies who generate income and therefore make payments into the Petroleum Holding Fund.
And that's all for the energy segment.
Yes, you are say, oh, Galam Sinti, and for best I say, oh, Galam Sinti, in call for a say a bunch of wow, bed them. Yenjai, Galam say, Yenjai, Galam say, Yenjai, Galam say, say Ghana. Yeah, my Ghana, you're shaman in cell. Yeah, my Ghana, you're shaman in cell. Yeah, my Ghana, you're shaman in cell. Galam say, master. Galam say, master. Galam say, master. Galam say, master. Galam say, master.
You're still watching News Hour on GBC News. My name is Mavis Ofejampo. The health news is brought to you by Lufat, Tobinco's premier gift to West Africa against malaria. The Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, has served notice that it will close down all unregistered health facilities in the Ashanti region by March next year. The purpose is to weed out quack medical officers and facilities to guarantee the safety of clients. The Ashanti Regional Director of the agency, Mr. Rashid Seidu Inusa, announced this at a media briefing in Kumasi as part of activities marking the 10th anniversary of the agency. The Health Institutions and Facilities Act 2011, Act 829, which established the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, empowers it to shut down any health facility which does not meet the standards established by the law. Per the law, a person shall not operate a health facility unless it is licensed under the Act. Since its inception about 10 years ago, HEFRA has created the needed awareness on patients' rights at health facilities, thereby making health workers more responsible in handling patients. The agency has credible and reliable data of all health facilities in the country, which international donors and the Ministry of Health can rely on to undertake major projects. As part of activities marking the 10th anniversary celebrations of the agency, the Ashanti Regional Director of HEFRA, Mr. Rashid Seidu Inusa, said the agency would from the beginning of next year clamp down on all quack health facilities in the country.
The business of Health Facilities Regulatory Agency is not to close down people's businesses, but rather to enforce standards so that when Ghanaians are going to facilities, health facilities for healthcare, they are assured that they are going there to get the best or quality care and come back home.
Rashid Inusa also noted that the existence of HEFRA has compelled medical practitioners to live up to the professional standards. The health news was brought to you by Lufa, Tobinco's premier gift to West Africa against malaria. We have more news after this break.
Good morning.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping. And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast. So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered. From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. with a trusted team. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.